told to you about how people communicate before there was Facebook. Remember how people used to communicate in the past? First, there were people who were walking or running from one place to another to bring news or messages to other people. They also use animals that carried writing messages, especially birds, carry pigeons. Also, the ancient American tribes used the sound of drums and scented smoke. After people communicate by means of letters, and there were people who traveled great distance taking to letter from a distant place to another place. This was later called mail. The print media called the newspaper also existed and exists today, which emerged when the printed press was invented at the end of the 18th century in England. When the telegraph was invented, it became the most modern means of communication. Its language was the Morse code for sounds. The Morse code was used by ships on the high seastroke reflection of night-light signal from ship to ship, or in mirror stroke reflection of sunlight during the day. In the past, there was not as much technology has now because of the economic possibilities that exist. The reserves were only available, available um, to the upper class, and those of the middle class were only for telephone calls because they didn't have the necessary resources for the internet. It was until after 2012 that most of the people had internet because it was indispensable for. Remember how people used to communicate before Facebook came along? Well, these applications are the ones that were before Facebook. Number one, Fotolog is education. Fotolog is created in 2002 by two Silicon Valley entrepreneurs. Adam Schefter, founder of Six Terrace, um, which is considered the first social network, and Scott Heiferman has seen the curtain fall with the first leg of 2016. It was the first photographic social network and became very popular since it allowed to up- upload one photo a day and receive a dozen comments, while if the premium account was chosen, the spectrum was broadened. Number two, MySpace, following the Fotolog. Number two, MySpace, following the Fotolog phenomenon, and others in emerged in 2003 from California, and with current pop star Justin Timberlake's capital. MySpace 8 years later, the social network had more than 33 million visitors in the US alone. Today, MySpace is used above all as a means to promote, market, and distribute music in an easy way without giving other principles, but after succumbing in 2008 to the Facebook boom, the number of users has been plummeting. This spread several things. Number three, Hi-Fi, founded at the Number 3, Hi-Fi, founded at the dawn of MySpace, also in 2003. Hi-Fi reached its peak of more than 7 million users, especially in Latin America. But little by little, the numbers decreased before paying. So the competition, the social network, is still active today, although has muted aside from social games and open the developers of new games. Its activity in Spain was residual since never got to connect with the young public who preferred other networks to promote connectivity in search of fun. And number 4 is both Google Speed to the is both Google Speed to the board of the social media by the didn't turn out as well as expected. Boost was born in 2010 and the buried alive with his competitors for 3 years, but he never became a benchmark despite having the potential of a great company behind him. Google Boost didn't need configuration, and you only had to have a Gmail account to have it. But in the summer of 2013, the inter the internet giant opened for Google's uh, and Boost became history. Number 5, Second Life. Second Life. 2003 from a science fiction novel. This game Second Life, the book now gave life to metaverse, since it is how to responsible for this platform defended. The soft go beyond the conventional and a parallel universe was created where people live together under an independent economy. The rules being intervened by user promote free will economy. The rules being intervened by user promote free will. Um, Nowadays, Facebook has become a threat to young people because through this network they have been starting girls or boys in order to harm them. And to go is also a means by which the news is given fathers and it's more easy to find out what happened. Can you tell me what? Can you tell me what the impact when Facebook appears? Facebook had its origins in the Harvard students community in February 2004, emerged as a way to connect the university community. By the end of 2006, Facebook had expanded. 6, Facebook had expanded beyond education institution and was accessible to everyone.